Sup people, Multiplier here, and today video 2 of my Ableton Basics series. So this time, basically showing you the difference between session view and arrangement view. And it's super important you understand kind of the difference and how it kind of gives you all these options. Otherwise, you're not really using the DAW properly and you're not going to get the most out of it. And it's the main difference between this and any other DAW like Logic or Reason or anything like that. It's like specific to Ableton, and it's really cool because it means you can work in all these different ways, whichever suits you, which is cool. So, as I said in the last video, you kind of choose between the views either with the tab button, or you see these little buttons towards the top right. That allows you to choose between the two views as well. So, as you can imagine, looking at the arrangement view, which is this view, got your tracks going down, like whichever way that is, call it vertically, and your time going horizontally. So as you imagine, 1, start at the beginning, and then as time moves forward, we hit play, which are space bar as well. Learn a few basic shortcuts that make things easy. So as it's playing, you can see we're moving through time. And because we're dealing with kind of bars, we've got the bar names at the top. It's a lot easier to reference them, but we do have the minutes and seconds along the bottom if you need a reference there as well, which is cool. So that's your kind of arrangement view. It works like a traditional DAW. You can simply drag things in. So let's say we've got a vocal from a vocal sample pack. We can simply drag it into this channel. Nice and simple. You can even rename the channel. Either right click rename, or learn your shortcuts, Command or Ctrl R, and then we can call it Raga Vocal. And there we go, we got our vocal in. And that's how you can kind of drag sounds in and kind of see them in a traditional way. So this is kind of like your actual track. However, there is and you can delete them as well. There is another way to kind of use, I don't know the right word is, basically use the DAW, which is the session view. And this is a little bit different. You got to kind of get your head around the way it works. So basically we have all the same channels that we do in the arrangement view, but instead of having like an actual timeline, we have all these boxes which are clips. Now these clips can be audio or MIDI, or the channel can be audio or MIDI, so the clips can be respectively audio or MIDI. I'll go into more detail about that later. But for now, basically just treat each of these blocks, each of these kind of like clips as like a piece of audio. And for each channel, you can only ever have one bit of audio playing, but you can have kind of, you don't have to have everything on the same kind of line. So you can have, say, this one playing up here and this one playing down there. And the cool thing is, you'll notice what happened is, as I click this one, it didn't come in immediately, it came in kind of on the beat. So basically it's all quantized, which is basically where everything will come in exactly on like the beat, on the grid. So if you have kind of it in a bar structure, it will come in at the start of every bar, which is cool because it means you can kind of, the idea is you can arrange things and try different combinations of loops or whatever it is, kind of almost like in an improv style thing. So you can just try different ones out and just hit them almost randomly, and then they'll come in on the beat. So it's all really nice. It's just a nice way of experimenting with different sounds and seeing what sounds work together. So for example, here, I've just very basically dragged out some loops in a few seconds and a few vocal things. What we can do is, if we're not sure what vocal may work with what loop, we can simply just try them out, and each one will come in exactly on the beat, which is really nice. So you don't have to worry about dragging them out and then lining them up and then auditioning them and seeing if you like it. You can literally just drag out loads of stuff, fill up all these boxes, and just have a go, really. So I mean, dance if you can't dance, just do this. Dance if you can't dance, just do this. The point of no return. It's nice and simple. You can kind of see how it waits for the right time to come in, and it comes in exactly at the right time. Now this does rely on your clips being warped to how they need to be warped, which I'll go into more detail in another video. But you can see the basic idea where you have basically all these sections. They're almost like, it's almost like a loop-based way of playing back things. And now the interesting bit is how you translate this into the actual track. So what some people do is they literally just use this view to kind of try out ideas. And once they have the ideas, they'll just copy the arrangement like into the arrangement view. So if we wanted to say we like this combination, You can simply right-click copy or use some shortcuts, and then stick it in vocal loops, paste it, and then copy, paste it again. And now what you will have noticed is one of the really important things. It's all kind of, it's not really there. It's almost like grayed out. It's like a bit blurry. And that's because what's happening is there's this cool thing between the session view and arrangement view where you can have kind of half your track in session view and half the track in arrangement view. It doesn't have to be half, but you can have kind of a particular channel working in session and one in clip. You see here, we've got this kind of sticky out bit. This means that these tracks are being played from the session view and they're not being played from the arrangement view. So if we want to kind of stop them being played from the session view and get them back to being played in the arrangement view, we need to basically hit this orange button up here, which is the same as that orange button down there. So you hit that, that goes away, and now everything is coming straight from the arrangement view. So hopefully that was clear what went on there, but I can probably illustrate it. So if we simply drag this out, so we've got a whole bunch of like loop stuff playing here, a whole bunch of loop stuff playing here. Now, if we start playing this, and we want to we're happy with this vocal loop and how this vocal loop is happening in the arrangement view, but we want to try out some more loops as we go along, then we can simply do that, and it will allow us to play about with this loop channel in session view, but keep this channel going in arrangement view. So I'll illustrate that now. So we hit spacebar to play, and then tab to go back to session view, and then just literally try different ones up here. Nice and simple. Tab to go back, and we see because we started playing some of these loops in session view, it's all kind of grayed out now, which and it's got that kind of jutty out bit, which means that channel is kind of coming from the session view. And that may not seem like it's a big deal because of the fact I'm not showing you in the context of making a track, but you've got to imagine, let's say we've got 10 tracks in the arrangement view, all of which are kind of finely tuned. We've got loads of different complicated stuff happening all the time. So basically a track, but let's say we're not sure what kind of like top loop we like. It's really nice because it means we can have the whole track playing kind of in arrangement view, have the whole track play out, and we can literally go back to session view and just hit these buttons and try a few like as the track is playing, which is quite cool, right? And it means it allows you to work in all these different ways. So hopefully you can kind of start to imagine how there's all these, literally however you want to work, and any combination of the ways you can imagine, you can work in that way, which is really cool. So yeah, definitely worth kind of having to play about with session view, having to play about the arrangement view, and seeing what workflow suits you. And I know it varies from music genre to genre as well. Like, so some genres that are like very, very loop based, and that's when session view really comes into its own. And you can almost, in fact, what you can do is you can record almost like a live performance of these clips. I won't show you exactly how now because there's a few different ways of doing it. But it's worth knowing you can record. So let's say we're improvising and triggering all these clips at certain times and at certain points in like a song. We can record that out, record that into the arrangement view, and then fine tune it. So however you like to do it, there is definitely a way you can make it work in Ableton. So it's super powerful, and that's one of the reasons why I especially like Ableton. It doesn't hold you back at all, but it gives you all these extra ways of doing things, and it's super awesome, really. Yeah, it's definitely worth getting to grips with it. Definitely. And it's worth not getting confused as well, because I know one of the first things I got confused about when I first started using Ableton was if I was making a song in arrangement view, and then, I don't know, I played about up here a bit and triggered a clip like that. This turns this channel into kind of almost like it's playing in session view, and then I wasn't sure why it wasn't doing what I thought it was doing in arrangement view. So it's worth being aware that kind of seeing what channels are being played from where. And remember, if you see that orange button, that means that some of the channels are being played from session view. They've made it a lot easier in Live 9 because of the fact they've got that jutty out bit, and it's kind of blurred or dimmed, whatever you want to call it. So you can see it a lot easier when that's happened in Live 9. And got that orange button as well. In Live 8, if I remember correctly, there's basically a red button somewhere near the top, which basically just illustrates the same thing as this orange button. So if you're looking at Live 8 and you're wondering why I can't see, it doesn't look the same as me. It's because they changed it for Live 9 to make it easier. But that important button to kind of revert everything back to arrangement view is a red button up top. Again, just kind of hover your mouse over the buttons until you can see what's going on in the info view, and whichever looks like it lights up red and the description makes the most sense, that's the one you want. So cool. That's pretty much it for session view versus arrangement view. I haven't explained how you can record from session view to arrangement view, simply because I don't personally work that way. There's lots of ways of doing it. But if that sounds like something you might want to do, I swear it's more for like live performance and DJs. But if that does sound like something you want to do, just have a play about with these record buttons, to be honest. And if you can't figure it out kind of with these record buttons, then I might do another video on it at some stage. But it's worth knowing you can do it that way. So cool. So yeah, that was video number 2. I've been Multiplier. Let's do number 3. Right, stop.